Hey everyone, welcome back to Empire Build Academy Fabian, and server versus server is now over for the weekend in Evony, and unfortunately for us, server 1429, we had a very agonising defeat against server 1250. It was a very tough battle. We decided on a throne truce, so there was no attacking each other's throne, and it was all going to be based on the points that we got in the server, and it was one of those that was really back and forth a lot. There were times where we thought we'd got ahead and we were comfortably ahead. There were other times when it got really, really close. And genuinely, it was one of those battles that went right to the wire. And when I say right to the wire, you'll understand what I mean. So let's have a look at the details. Personally, myself, I only got involved in the one attack. This was that attack, and it was against one of their better players, Cryptical, who was 22.7 billion. Now, obviously, I got reinforced for this, so there's the reinforcements that I had. And you can see from that, I did all right on the exchange. Obviously, quite a bit lost in terms of the reinforcements, and in terms of the buffs on this, again, starting to really improve on this, although he did hit me with ground, and I've got to be honest, my ground definitely needs some work. Obviously, I've been doing a lot of work on the ranged, but I think definitely need to do some work on the ground. And in fact, if you remember last week, I actually turned around and said that I'd taken two of my ground sub-generals out who were debuffing, and that was around 80%, so there could have been another 80% on there. I'm still going to stick with just the ranged at the moment, the ranged debuff. I think it's the best way for me to go forward. It's very rare that I'm going to get the ground attacks, but if it's something that changes in the future and I find that more ground is going at me, then this is something I will definitely consider. In terms of the actual server versus server, let's go and have a look at that, and you will see from the server versus server just how close it really was. There is the battle. You can see we ended up actually losing by 1 billion points. But the funny thing was, them 1 billion points literally came in the last 10-15 minutes. It really was. We had a 400 million lead, which was obviously very, very tight. They were actually attacking monsters and everything on our server. And we knew it was going to be one of them that was going to go right down to the wire. And you can see there, Drakeston, as always, is the number one, with 16 billion, worked hard as always. Same with Young as well, and you can see Blue Killer also got involved alongside some other very decent scores in Phantomas, Howl, Smoke, Soleggio, Split, Valerian, and finally finishing off in the top 10, Divine Aura. For myself personally, I finished in 16th with 288 million, and in terms of the scores going against us, I actually had 44 million go against me, which against my 288 million was not a bad result at all. But you can see there was a lot spent, and you got to feel sorry for Drakeston and Young. There would have been a lot of soul used between the two of them in this battle. And literally what happened was, I'm not going to mention who, but what I'm going to say is someone had put on a shield, obviously before the server started, the server war started, 3-day shield. But the problem was that 3-day shield actually ran out with just over 10 minutes to go on the server. And then literally, as soon as they seen that, they were straight in there, zeroed the said person, and then that gave them the billion lead. And literally, it was one of them where we can go into the messages as well. You can see there's a lot of people here that can't believe that this was actually done. It wasn't this person who was the issue with the final minutes to go, although they did obviously lose some points, but it certainly wasn't the 1 billion that we needed. And these things happen. We've all been there. We've all had these moments where we're like, oh, why me? And there were also some people in the server versus server this time round that also had a negative score. But in terms of the defeat, it was literally down to this one bubble dropping, which they must have thought Christmas could come early with this. And then, unfortunately, we lost. That's it. That's what you have to do. You have to take it on the chin. I think Drakeston himself was obviously severely annoyed, especially with how much soul was used in terms of playing this server versus server. I think he's going to take a few weeks break, and I can completely understand why you would want to do that. So that is our server versus server. Please do let me know in the comments how you got on with your server versus server. Did you manage to win? Was there a lot of soul spent? Did you come across any K50s? I don't think we've got any yes, but do let me know in the comments if you fought anyone that was close to a K50. And I will see you in another video very soon. Thanks for watching.